Okay, so let's be frank. Really and truly, our results haven't been good for years, right? We have a few of our children doing very, very well, but we failed many, many more. So it's one of the topics that does get everybody talking. How do we improve teaching and learning in our schools and make sure our children do better? So yes, we're talking education on all angles this evening. I'm Dion Jackson-Miller. With me in studio, we have President of the National Parent-Teacher Association of Jamaica, Stuart Jacobs, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Kassan Troop is here, along with Principal of the Gregory Park Primary School, Richard Williams, and Principal of Haile Selassie High School, Aniona Jones. Yes, she switched schools on us. Just before we go to our guests in studio, though, Kemon White has this overview.
The Education Transformation Oversight Committee says 30% of the 365 recommendations in the Patterson Report have been implemented. The 2021 report examined weaknesses in Jamaica's education system and suggested solutions. The report calls for improved early childhood education, curriculum changes, and better teacher training. The Patterson Report also called for an end to automatic promotion. That's when students are promoted from grade to grade, whether they have mastered the content in that grade or not. Chairman of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, Dr. Adrian Stokes, says this will end starting September 2025.
Importantly, the practice of moving students from one grade to the next, irrespective of academic development, will be stopped. Students who are not at the requisite level will be placed on a pathway that allows them to remediate the learning challenges they are experiencing. Individual learning plans will be developed for these students to ensure proper targeting of learning challenges.
The report also recommended changes to how school boards are chosen. It recommends picking more qualified, independent members and giving them mandatory training. Dr. Stokes says these changes are coming.
Two types of reforms are being pursued. One, improving the cadre of persons seeking to serve on school boards. To achieve this, we are making the application process for serving on a school board very transparent, similar to what obtains in the wider public sector. Soon, individuals who wish to serve on a school board will upload their CVs and other relevant information to a website managed by the ministry. These individuals will be vetted to ensure they are fit and proper, with ultimate goal of matching competencies to the specific needs of schools.
There will also be changes to the laws that guide school boards.
Currently, the composition of government-operated school boards can lead to a perverse result where a school can effectively govern itself. This means that members from a school who are appointed to the board can effectively control the board's decisions. This is an obvious conflict and goes against well-established good governance principles. The goal is to ensure that the rules applicable to government-run schools are similar to those that apply to church-run schools.
The report also proposed a law to regulate and license Jamaica's teachers. The Jamaica Teaching Council bill was passed by the Senate in April.
Further deliberations and consultations will occur before the bill is passed into law.
Reporting for All Angles, I'm Kemon White.
So here's the thing. Any one of those could be a whole program in and of themselves. But let's start with this issue of automatic promotion. And I want to start by asking the principals, because this is something we've spoken about for years. And we kept hearing it can't be done, it's problematic, logistics, where you're going to put all those children. And I can imagine it must be more difficult for some schools than others. So let me start with you, Mr. Williams. When you hear we're stopping automatic promotion, tell me what you think.
Originally, I can say that previously, when I just started as a principal, when I did my grade 1 assessment, and I saw that at the end of the first year of teaching and learning, they were, at that time we used to say they were non-starters, they're below pre-prima. They would move on we would keep them back for a second year.
Okay.
However, the special education unit and the ministry came in and said that we shouldn't repeat them. So what I did, if at the end of the first year they are still not ready, we would send them to grade 2, but in a special class where we would intensify the intervention there and continue the literacy. The reading and literacy intervention, doing the phonics, the phonetic skills, the phonemic awareness, and just ensure that we intensify that so that by the end of grade 2, they would be stronger readers. If it is that they are still not ready, by the time they get to grade 3, we would have had the Digital Enrichment Center. So we would have pull-out sessions for those students, and we would just continue the process until we can, wean them out a little at a time, because not everybody develops at the same stage. So I'm happy now that it is back.
I'm curious, why were you told you shouldn't do it though?
Because social issues, they say that children would be
teased.
Yeah, but at my school, if it is that first thing, that, say for next year, for this year exam, for PEP, grade 6, you could be born 2012 to be in your final year at grade 6. So once I calculate, the ministry does that too, once I calculate the final year, a student could be in grade 6, that could be in their 13th year. When they start in grade 1, I will check that to see how far they could go, and then they could do a repeat, at least one repeat, but they can't do 2.
Okay.
But we have had students that have repeated more than once.
Okay. And just to be clear, you say you're now happy to hear this.
Oh, yes.
Because it takes you back to what you had been doing.
Yes, and one of the
And that worked?
Yes, it has.
It used to work?
It used to work, and it continues to. And one of the things that I'm happy now is that previously the ministry used to assess the students at grade 6.
Okay.
When it was GSAT, if a child got 58 or below, they would do the psychoeducational assessment. Now in PEP is if they're at beginning and pathway 3,
okay,
they would assess those students. But we were saying that it's a little too late. I would prefer if they would assess students at grades 2 and 3. So you would work with a cohort from grade 2, and by grade 4, you should be able to do the psychoeducation assessment for all of those students. And then you would still have 2 years to do intense intervention to get them to grade 6 and to get them ready.
Okay.
So it's a good move.
All right, so I'll tell you what, we'll hear from the elders when we come back. Now we've heard that kind of perspective. Stay tuned. Remember our WhatsApp line, 2825400693. We'll soon come.